JS Debate JA 2023. So as you take the photographs, ensure that you share them online. You have Wi-Fi access now, so no excuse that the data not data in. We have Wi-Fi access for you. So go ahead and share those photos online as we prepare to get things started for the exciting launch. I mean, I can hear the excitement going. So the password is, so let me go from the very top, not just the password. So you're going to go onto Spanish Court. That's the name of the Wi-Fi. And then your username is Valencia with a capital V. So Valencia with a capital V, and your password is the word service with a capital S, the number sign or hashtag or pound, however you call it, and the word one with a capital O. So it's service with a capital S, hashtag or number sign, then the word one with a capital O. And once you put that in, you'll have access and you can share all of those photos. I say JIS get the cue, so they're making sure that they take their photograph and they're representing, so please go ahead and share your photos. You can tweet and talk about your team and what you're going to be doing this year in the public sector debate competition. So we'll be starting momentarily. One of the things we are known for is our spirited discussions. We have opinions, we like to have conversations, we like to make those opinions known, and sometimes as well, those opinions will very well bring solutions. And that kind of engagement, that kind of expectation and knowledge of us as a people is a part of why we are here. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. And welcome to the official launch of the 2023 edition of the Public Sector Debate Competition. I am your host, Javon Keys, and I'm super excited to see this year's competition going. Of course, the last time we had this event was in 2019, but unfortunately, the COVID-19 pandemic happened. But the Transformation Implementation Unit saw the importance of having these competitions going because they want to hear from you, they want to hear your opinions, they want to hear the solutions you could very well have to some of the problems we're facing. Of course, we have about 20 teams. All of you not here in the room, but 20 teams are actively involved in this year's competition. And I'm excited to see the banter going, those spirited conversations going as we expect you to come and bring your A game. Of course, we want you to take your photographs. We want you to get all those digital elements and use our hashtag PSDebateJA2023. Let me take this opportunity to acknowledge our very special guests, including the Minister of Finance and the Public Service, Dr. the Honorable Nigel Clarke. And of course, he's a spirited debater himself, a spirited elocutionist, and one who I'm sure is very happy to see this competition coming back. Let me acknowledge as well Mr. Denzel Thorpe from the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport, Executive Director of the Transformation Implementation Unit, Ms. Maria Thompson-Walters, Mr. Andrew Winter, CEO of the Passport, Immigration and Citizenship Agency, PICA, Mr. O'Neill Grant, President of the JCSA, Ms. Carol Coy, Director General of the Statistical Institute of Jamaica, Statin. Of course, our partners from the Jamaica Association for Debating and Empowerment, JADE, led by Jermaine Barrett. And of course, all other entities represented, heads of agencies, members of the diplomatic corps, or teams, and everyone else. Welcome. Those of you joining us online as well, thank you so much for being here with us. Of course, persons are joining via the JIS YouTube page as well as the TIU social media platform. So you want to share the link so your friends can see you and see that you're going to be in the competition today. Now, it's not my duty to give you the official welcome. At this juncture, I ask you to help me make very welcome our Executive Director, Maria Thompson-Walters, to officially welcome us all to this very auspicious occasion.
Thank you, Javon. Minister of Finance and the Public Service, Dr. Nigel Clarke, Permanent Secretaries, Heads of Entities, President of the Jamaica Civil Service Association, specially invited guests, members of the TIU team, debating teams, ladies and gentlemen, members of the press, good morning and welcome to the Public Sector Debates Competition. As Javon indicated, the last time we had this was 2019, and I hope you all remember the level of competition that emerged, especially those finals, nurses, JIS, customs. It's been a while since we gathered in this fashion due to COVID. And as we adjust to new ways of working, collaborating, and communicating, it is indeed good that we are able to socialize and exchange ideas face-to-face. Of course, still maintaining, as the Ministry of Health and Wellness reminds us, all of our precautions regarding COVID-19. The truth is, the 2019 competition is still etched in my mind. The passion, the spirit, and just the overall vibe were something to behold. We wanted to get from you ideas about public sector transformation, and you delivered. I attended several of the matches. Unfortunately, I couldn't attend all, but I was extremely impressed with the level of research, argumentation, how the participants conducted themselves, and how the supporters conducted themselves. You were all indeed a credit to the public sector. The TIU is indeed very pleased with the support from the Jamaica Association for Debating and Empowerment that we have this platform for employees to debate issues of national and international importance. Last time we had this, we had 20 teams competing. 13 participated in the first staging, and we're joined by 7 new entrants. A very special welcome to our new entrants, and I'm looking forward to meeting all of you. Through the public sector debate competition, we hope to build a culture of partnership and healthy competition, to also enhance critical thinking and research skills of the participants. This is going to be achieved through the training provided by our JADE partners, as well as the practice and experience gained from the execution of the competition itself. And this year, we have increased the prizes and awards on offer as teams are vying for over $2.5 million in prizes and awards. Thank you, Minister. Once again, we will host the social media competition to allow the public to vote for the fan favorite of the competition. This will be given to the team that has attracted the most likes on our Facebook page and our Instagram page. We will post your team photos after today's launch on Instagram at TIU_Jamaica and on Facebook at TIU Jamaica. The assignment that you have is to rally your teams to like your photos, and the team with the highest combined number of likes wins. And I must tell you, from the last competition, you have a formidable competitor, Customs. They were the winners the last time around. Immediately following this launch, we ask that all the teams remain so that we can complete your official photo team for the competition. And just to make a point, the preliminary rounds will be held at the TIU's offices at 6 Saxthorpe Avenue as the Jamaica Conference Center is being refurbished. Ladies and gentlemen, all the very best, good luck, and may the best debating team emerge. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. I heard a wave of excitement go across the room when we heard the $2.5 million in prizes. And I also heard somebody throw out vengeance for Customs, which means that the competition and the excitement and the plans to win, and I'm not pointing any fingers, but someone on this side threw out some vengeance for Customs. But of course, we're excited to see this competition coming back. And of course, this culture of research, critical thinking, and the training the teams will get is not just to empower them for the competition, but it's skill sets that will take them beyond just this debate competition. Thank you so much, Maria. Now, of course, some of the best and brightest have participated in this competition. And in 2019, as we said, we had the first staging, and we want to take you back to have a look at some of the grilling moments from the last competition. So ladies and gentlemen, I direct your attention to the video screens as we showcase a reflection of the last competition.
In the beginning, there were 20 teams vying to be crowned public sector debating champions. The inaugural competition in 2019 was a success. Some of the best and brightest public sector workers brought new and refreshing ideas on public sector transformation. Then it was down to the top 4 teams. The Victoria Jubilee Hospital team battled it out with Jamaica Information Service for 3rd place.
And so let me invite Deandra Facey to open the debate, and she will be followed by the first speaker on side opposition, Peter Gay Hodges. It's time to debate.
Be it resolved that advancing the protection of the natural world, land, sea, and air impedes the natural value of the market value of the goods and services provided. we are challenging the definition of environmental development. We are of the view that environmental development must include infrastructural development, aka the built environment. Let me address a few things raised by my opponent. 45%, my opponent, is very ambitious, and we must crawl before we can walk.
I'd like to challenge the challenge of the opposition, which we found not to be so much of a challenge as so much of an agreement with us. Because my first speaker did say that development, that environment includes land, air, and sea. Land is infrastructure. Now, Mr. Speaker, if this is where we're going, then we will not be able to realize our goal number 4 of Vision 2030, which you spoke of, Madam Opposition.
These rooms, these additional hotel rooms, will not be floating in the air. They have to be built somewhere. They will be a part of the environmental development along the coastline. We can have more visitors, and more visitors means more foreign exchange for the country.
This is what we are striving to, my opponents. This is what we need to see. So my opponents, let us bubble up in sustained utilization of our natural resources. Let us start bubbling up with excitement for job creation. Let us bubble up with regular staff training to ensure we are keeping up with the new technologies and international standards. Let us bubble up in making conducive investment to climate and developing the right initiatives to private sector participation in order to make Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, and do business.
Think on this. There are people in this country who are afraid to stock their shops because they're afraid that thief are going to come and take it out. How can you develop if you're simply too afraid to try? Imagine the people whose walls become barricades for warring gangs, whose houses are perforated with bullets, while inside the hope of our human capital bleed into tomorrow's horrific headline. My learned opponents, environmental development is not the enemy here. It is not an obstacle. How does actual sustainable improvements to our environment begin to compare to an economic killer like crime? It does not.
Third place in the public sector debate competition for 2019 is the Jamaica Information Service. Be it resolved that the goal of Vision 2030 to make Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business is a realistic one. It's time to debate. Let me now invite the first speaker from the proposition to open the motion in their name, and then we'll hear from the first speaker on side opposition in response. Let's debate.
If you know where you are going and you know what it takes to get there, your likelihood of getting there is greater. The goal to make Jamaica the place of choice is also realistic because we have a collective effort towards it. Government budgets, private sector investment, community projects, international development partners, and Jamaicans are all engaged in making it a reality.
I want to point out, first proposition, that Team Opposition is in no way saying that Jamaica will not become the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business. What we're saying is that won't happen by 2030. All right, now, you use the definition for realistic as being can be achieved. And again, I'm going to say it can be achieved, but not for 2030. I'll also point out that the expression to make Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business, ladies and gentlemen, is not one of the goals of Vision 2030. What that expression represents is the vision statement. Vision 2030, as JIS will tell you, is guided by 4 goals, and these 4 goals you highlighted, so don't get it twisted. It's not the end-all goal, it's just the vision statement. We look at 4 goals, we look at 15 objectives. Unless these outcomes are met, then we cannot say that we are achieving the vision. All Jamaicans seem to know is the vision statement which we sing, but what does it mean? We don't know.
Vision 2030 is born out of a strong consensus among our people, technocrats, our international development partners. And might I add though, these international development partners would not have been contributing to donating their money if they didn't think the goal was realistic. Also, to add to the level of realism, Mr. Speaker, our goals have been The Vision 2030 serves as an axis around which efforts to achieve sustainable development goals are organized. The third key, scheduling and setting time frames. So we're going to set time frame for lose weight, we'll set time frame for Vision 2030. In that, we had medium-term goals set.
Mr. Speaker, it's going to be hard to attain these projected targets when crime accounts for 5% of GDP, according to a Gleaner article published by Garvin Davis, dated September 4, 2017.
I will go a little bit deeper in helping you understand why I say that we are living the vision and we will achieve the vision come 2030. It is indeed a realistic feat. Let me explain to you. On the economic front, goal number 3 speaks to Jamaica's economy being prosperous. According to Dennis Chung in an Observer article November 2018, no one can logically argue that economic and market improvements, we are not seeing that in the country. He's saying unemployment is at its lowest it has ever been, 8%. What does that mean? None taken at this time. What does that mean? It means then that we are closest to full employment and never been seen achievement.
If we don't find a way to get the message out to the people and let them know that their day-to-day activities ties into the vision won't become a reality for 2030, end of quote. Ladies and gentlemen, my opponents, yes, Vision 2030 has its website. Yes, it has a Facebook page. Yes, it is on social media and even has a theme song, which I learned about only in this debate. However, Team Opposition is here to tell you that without the populace owning it and knowing all about it, this counts for naught.
The winner of the public sector debate competition for 2019.
Trelawney Municipal Corporation.
As you can see, the competition was packed with scintillating and fiery arguments from employees across the public sector, many of whom have returned to the debating arena to vie for over $2.5 million in cash and prizes. Who will win the coveted spot as the best debaters in the public sector? May the best team win.
May the
public
best
sector debate
team
competition,
win.
facing issues, influencing solutions.
That applause is certainly warranted, ladies and gentlemen. So we saw lots of passion. Some of you saw yourselves. How did you feel about that? Of course, discussions on varying topics, Vision 2030, sustainability, bubbling up, environmental development, and so much more. So we're expecting to see much more spirited conversations taking place around many of these topics. But of course, we couldn't have the competition without the teams. So I want to ensure that we have the teams ready and rearing to note themselves present, because I'm about to mark the register. Are you ready? When you mark register at school, what happens? When you say present, don't. So when I mark the register, I want to ensure that you get up and you make sure that your team is seen and you're noted. So when I say the Jamaica Customs Agency, are you here? No, me not believe. Jamaica Customs Agency? You're allowed to make noise, you're allowed to get up as I mark the register. And of course, they are returning. The Jamaica Information Service, are you here? The voice of Jamaica. So them plan out them thing, you know. And of course, the JIS. The JIS was a third place winner last time around, 2019. And of course, I understand that they're coming for the trophy this year, true? So I hope when you're coordinating the win, just like when you coordinate that speech a while ago. Of course, the Water Resources Authority. And of course, they're marking themselves present, and they are a returning team. We have a new entrant, and they are the Tourism Product Development Company, TPDCO. Where are you? And we get the Royal Rave. The Royal Wave from the TPDCO team. We look forward to seeing you in competition. The Statistical Institute of Jamaica, Statin. And they are here, of course, and the Director General, Ms. Coy, is here as well. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade. They are present. and royally clad. Of course, a returning team. We're happy to have them back. The Passport, Immigration and Citizenship Agency, PICA.
One goal, one team, no limits.
All right. And they are a new entrant. We're happy to have you here. The Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce, the Business Ministry. There we go. A returning team. Also returning, the Administrator General's Department. Ah. The Ministry of Finance and the Public Service, where are you? All right, so they are present. The Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation. What? So we're getting un poco de español. Están aquí, you're here, all right, we see you. And they are returning. The Ministry of Health and Wellness. All right, and I'm sure you'll be moving to the trophy as well. Welcome back. The Ministry of National Security, and of course, they were our second place winner in 2019. The Clarendon Parish Library, they are a team involved in the competition, but unfortunately, they're not here. They had a bit of a challenge this year, but let's pick them up in their absence nonetheless. And when they watch the stream, I'm sure they'll be happy that we welcome them. The Ministry of Justice. And as a new team, they got the memo. So they came with the vibe. We also have the Accountant General's Department, but they're not here because they're busy, of course, ensuring that those payments go out. So we understand their absence, but let's give them a big round of applause in their absence. The Victoria Jubilee Hospital. All right. And they were in the top 4 last time around. New entrants, the Development Bank of Jamaica, DBJ, where are you? There we go. The Integrity Commission. Integrity Commission? Oh, we're going. Oh, let's try that again. On a false start. So let's get the starting right. And we're in champ season, you know. So we know we can't afford for false starts, ladies and gentlemen. So let's take it again. Let's do that again. The Integrity Commission. There we go. After the second time of asking, you got it right. And they are a new entrant. And of course, we have the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment, and Sport. Well, I guess they're busy with champs. But let's big them up nonetheless. Let's give them a big round of applause. So 20 teams involved, and we look forward to all of that spirited camaraderie and involvement throughout the competition. Now, of note, the Trelawney Municipal Corporation, they won the competition in 2019, but unfortunately, they were not able to participate, which means this year we're going to have a brand new winner. I said we're going to have a brand new winner. So it's even more excitement. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's my absolute pleasure at this juncture to invite, as I said earlier, a gentleman who is known for his spirited conversations, a well-researched gentleman, and one who, as I said, I'm sure he's very happy that this competition is back. Ladies and gentlemen, our Minister of Finance and the Public Service, Dr. the Honorable Nigel Clark. Make him welcome, please.
Thank you, Javon. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. When I was watching that clip, I mean, it was as if I was in Parliament. I mean, this is so, I have to, we should have this on TV live. Yeah. Okay, let's make sure it is, because, it always come back to that, eh? Always come back to that. But this is a fantastic exercise, and congratulations to the TIU. Big them up for me now. Big them up for putting this on. We must always be able to talk in our country, no matter if we disagree or not. Always be able to debate, always be able to put arguments to each other and hear counter-arguments. One of the most frustrating things sometimes is you are put your reason argument, your reason, and somebody else has to respond with emotion. You ever have that experience? Where you are put down reason, and all you get is emotion. What we want out of this competition is to ensure that when customs go up against Jubilee, it's reason versus reason. When we have Integrity Commission up against economic growth, it's reason versus reason, right? We can disagree, but we can reason. And this competition is in keeping with the spirit of Jamaica, because we are a country that will slickle with Talawa, and we have a worldview. There are not many countries that you go to that everybody has a view on something that's happening in the world, right? I mean, we're the only country in the world to have spawned a globally recognized religion in the 20th century. There is no other country in the world. All globally recognized religions predate the 20th century, yeah? And so Jamaica has a worldview, we're opinionated, and this competition is very much in keeping with who we are. But one of the real purposes behind it is to ensure that the conversation about how the public sector evolves is an inclusive one. Because the public sector belongs to us all. And to show that debates matter, the debates count, debates have value, we introduced paternity leave January 1st, 2023, but it was a topic of debate in 2019. So give yourselves a round of applause. Who knows which, and it was customs that debated it here, right? So who knows which of the topics are going to be so convincing? That was a back foot. After that, you know. Yeah? So the debates matter. Your opinions matter. Your reason matters. Yeah? Now, we have just completed a very momentous year in public sector transformation. And that is a year, this is a year where we have begun implementation of a long-awaited public sector compensation reform activity. Many people thought it would never, ever happen. No one would be crazy enough to try and do something like that. That was the, you know, what people thought it would never happen for that reason. But it was a necessity, something that we had to do because of the structure of compensation. What it was just not sustainable anymore. We needed to greatly simplify it for the employee and for the government. The more simple it is, it's the more sustainable our country's arrangements can be. And in the process, compensation was adjusted across the board, but adjusted in ways that varied. Today is not a day to talk about that process in any detail, except it would be odd to speak on the topic of public sector transformation and not mention this significant milestone that we have together achieved. It's been a big conversation. A lot of that conversation has been in meetings like these, have been on Zoom, or some of them have spilled over in the public domain, etc. But again, that conversation was necessary because that's the only way we could arrive at a solution, so to speak. Now, one of the reasons why we, the public are demanding more from their public sector, better service, more efficient, on time, they're concerned about costs, concerned about customer service, etc. But the persons involved in human resources across the public service tell me that, a lot of people leave the public service, and one of the reasons why they leave is complaining about, levels of pay. And the restructuring represents the government's response to ensuring that we have a better arrangements that can attract and retain. And people can see that there's a career path that if I stay in this and whatever, I can progress. And that's important. That is important. Now, we've had a lot of other successes in the public transformation initiative. One of the big ones is, I think this year we implemented the pilots for shared services. And shared services comes from the idea that there's no need to replicate certain services across government. Again, if we want to be efficient, right? To have, this service delivers A, and you have it replicated in every ministry, department, and agency across government. With technology, you can have a center that delivers that service to all the MDAs. And the persons who work in that service center get a better experience. Today, they're providing the service to the Ministry of Economic Growth. Tomorrow, they're providing it to the Ministry of Labor. Next day, they might even be providing it to an executive agency. And it deepens their experience, gives them a much longer runway in terms of their career development, and is much more efficient. So this year, we piloted shared services in HR, in internal audit, and in payroll. And good Lord, do we need shared services in payroll? And those have been largely successful. And going into this year, the next fiscal year, which begins tomorrow, we intend to establish a permanent shared services department where that shared services department will deliver shared services to the public service. Very exciting development in Jamaica's sort of trajectory. And we'll begin to pilot shared services in another area. I believe the area is going to be procurement. After all, if we're buying pencils, do we need, everybody needs pencils, true? Every ministry, department, and agencies need pencils. Do we need to buy pencils 200 different times? Should we? If we want to be, when we went in countries like the UK, they've had, the reason why they're where they are, one of the reasons, is that when it comes to doing things efficiently so they can do more, they don't play around. And they too, in countries like that, have had to take advantage of technology and communication to put these kinds of arrangements in place so we can do more with what we have. Make sense? So we're going to start the pilot on shared services in procurement in the upcoming fiscal year. But we've had a number of other successes in public sector transformation, and I'm sure some of these might feature in your debate topics. You would know about GovNet, the project to link all ministries, departments, and agencies with fiber cables, right? By linking them, what you end up with is a government intranet or platform that allows information to be shared seamlessly across and for communication. Well, I'm told that I think we have 90 MDAs that are now on the GovNet platform, which is a major, major success and achievement. Now, during this period of implementation of the compensation reform, we would have seen that first of all, everybody always signed close up to the time. And in a short period of time, expect all of the calculations to be done. Inevitably, you end up with the delays, which is just normal. The truth is you need a good 30 days prior to payment day in order to make sure everything goes smooth, but that has not always been possible. But we have also been hamstrung by the fact that payroll in the government is highly fragmented and distributed. When we have problems with payroll, yes, Ministry of Finance gets the blame, and yours truly takes the licks. right? Takes the licks. But payroll in government is not in the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service. Payroll is across government. And every ministry or department has their own. You remember I said we don't have shared services, right? So everybody has their own. When we have shared services, then you can blame the shared services center. But that's not the case today. Every entity has their own payroll department. And on top of it, we have over, I think, 13 payroll IT systems in the public service. Okay? So you have a different IT system for the Ministry of Local Government than you have from another ministry over here, from another department over there, which we can see the downsides of that with the experience that we've had this year. It's difficult for you to make a change that filters throughout government, right? You can't turn on a dime. You're less nimble, you're less efficient, and you can't be impactful, right? Because you have all of these, first of all, it's fragmented, 200 payroll departments, and then there are 13 different IT systems. So how you program them is different. I got a, you know, you remember when I spoke about algorithm? Don't go there, Nigel, don't go there. Right, well, the truth is you needed a different algorithm for each of the systems. For each of the systems, because they all work with different variables. Some of them can process this way, some of them can't. Not the way to run a country. There are companies in the world with more employees than we have. Meaning there are probably hundreds of companies in the world with more employees than we have, if you include all China, India, etc. And so having this fragmented system doesn't make any sense. So part of the transformation initiative has been to bring all ministries, departments, and agencies onto a single payroll enterprise system. And we've made tremendous progress in that regard with a system called My HR Plus. And as at today, I'm happy to report that we have over 60 ministries, departments, and agencies that use this enterprise human resource management system called My HR Plus. I don't know if any of you in your ministry, department, or agency has it, but it's a sea change. When you don't have this kind of enterprise system, if you need a job letter, you have to go and ask your supervisor, take 2 weeks or 1 week, you get your job letter. Here, you want a job letter, you go on the system, you print it yourself. If you want to know what your leave entitlement is, what's that? If you want to know what your leave entitlement is, how many days you have to depend on somebody else. Go and ask somebody. 6 to 8 weeks I'm hearing in some places, right? Because I'm going to pull a file and pull another file and pull this file and add it up and subtract and so on. And audit it. And I'm going to audit it. You imagine that? I'm going to audit your leave entitlement. Lord have mercy. So these are the things that we're trying to address. With My HR Plus, click, click, right there on your screen. Yeah? And other such services that today take a long time. With My HR Plus, it becomes available at your fingertips. We need salary letters for lots of things, right? You need to, for everything. You need salary letters all the time. Why? You have to go and buy. Here you just print it off. So when we say public sector transformation, we're talking about making transformative changes that improve your quality of life and therefore enable you to offer better public service to the citizens of Jamaica, which includes you and your colleagues as well. Because everybody in here uses public services. Yeah? Public servants use public services. So we know what we want to see. So the projects that we're working on in the transformation project, in the transformation initiative, involve change, and change can be challenging. Change can be challenging. Putting in a new enterprise software system is not easy because it uproots previous modes of activity. And that can be off-putting because we derive a lot of comfort from familiarity. But that change is necessary to get to a place where you and the people you serve are better off. And that is the process of development. So as you go forth in this year's competition, I love the spirit. I love the energy. Long let it all bubble up. Right? Just don't bring any abacus or anything like that. Or, well, you can use the blocks. If you want any blocks, I can lend you. And enjoy the competition. It's not about who wins, even though that is important. I heard excitement with the $2.5 million. But it's going to be, you know, it'll be spread around, right? It's not just for the person who wins. There'll be lots of different ways to get a piece of the 2.5. But enjoy it. The process is just as important as the result, right? The process of researching the topics, of preparing the topics, of practicing, and then of delivering is as important as the result. And I look forward to watching some of those debates and to cheering you on as you go about it. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations on your entry to the 2023 Public Sector Debate Competition, and God bless you and be with you all.
Thank you so much, the Honorable Nigel Clarke, Minister of Finance and the Public Service. Of course, showcasing some of the successes of the TIU and the government at large in implementing the transformation of the public sector. And of course, kudos to you and the team as you continue doing that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are at a very pivotal point in this launch of the competition, a moment many of you have been waiting for. At this time, I'd like to invite Tamika Gunn-Mighty and Jodianne Swack to join me on stage. They are communication specialists in the TIU, and they'll be giving me some assistance as I pull the draws. Ladies and gentlemen, it is that. So let's fix that as I pull the respective competition draws. I'm not going to change my words. As I pull the respective teams and their various moods. There we go. Customs going to charge me for that one. But ladies and gentlemen, I know this is the moment you've all been waiting for. So let us pull the respective teams and their moods. That's better? We can work with that one? There we go. Box A. And the team from this one will be the proposition. The team for the first match who will propose the moot is the Passport, Immigration and Citizenship Agency, PICA. They will face off with, can I get a drum roll? The Ministry of Finance and the Public Service. So it's Passport against Finance. The moot to be contested. Drum roll, please. Be it resolved that the government should not own or operate for-profit enterprises. Be it resolved that the government should not own or operate for-profit enterprises. That's match one. Let me come from box B now. Proposition. The Ministry of Health and Wellness. And that team will face off with the Statistical Institute of Jamaica Statin. So the Ministry of Health will propose while the Statin will oppose. Now, what is the moot? Wanna now work with me? No, now work with me. Be it resolved that the convention whereby the Prime Minister forms a cabinet primarily from elected members of Parliament has not been beneficial for Jamaica. So the moot, be it resolved, the convention whereby the Prime Minister forms a cabinet primarily from elected members of Parliament has not been beneficial for Jamaica. Well, I saw some eyebrows raised when I started reading that moot. Our next match in proposition of the moot is the Development Bank of Jamaica, DBJ. The DBJ will face off with the Accountant General's Department. What will they debate about? The moot. Given that Jamaica is a small island developing state, or SID, be it resolved that it has less of a moral obligation to fight against climate change. Let's go again. Given that Jamaica is a small island developing state, or SID, be it resolved that it has less of a moral obligation to fight against climate change. The gears are turning. Who will face off in the next match? We're getting it, we're getting it. The team that will face off in the next match, I hear people sending threats to them already. Jamaica Customs Agency. Who will they face off with? Ladies and gentlemen, the opposition team contesting with the Jamaica Customs Agency is the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment, and Sport. I see somebody holding them chest. Foreign Affairs is what happened. And they will debate the moot. Wow. The COVID-19 pandemic introduced working from home as a standard work arrangement in the Jamaican public service. Be it resolved that working from home should continue post the pandemic. So let me go again. This one gets a round of applause. Remember, just because you're proposing the moot doesn't mean that it's necessarily an easy moot. But let's go with the moot again. The COVID-19 pandemic introduced working from home as a standard work arrangement in the Jamaican public service. Be it resolved that working from home should continue post the pandemic. That applause tells me that, boy, everybody has say, yes, it should. And of course, we know that that's something that we all can share on. Now to the next match. In proposition of the moot, ladies and gentlemen, the Ministry of Justice. They will contend with the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce, the Business Ministry. What will be the business in this match? Be it resolved that Parliament should have a minimum quota for female members of Parliament. Be it resolved that Parliament should have a minimum quota for female members of Parliament. Now for the next match. The Victoria Jubilee Hospital will propose while the Tourism Product Development Company, TPDCO, will oppose. What's the motion? Be it resolved that Jamaica is unable to address the current crime epidemic without help from its international partners. I hear somebody say, whoa, if it one day. Be it resolved that Jamaica is unable to address the current crime epidemic without help from its international partners. For next match, I can feel some tension and some wonderings taking place, you know. So the team in proposition is the Integrity Commission. The Integrity Commission will face off with Integrity Commission will propose while the Jamaica Information Service will oppose. What's the motion? Be it resolved that the use of artificial intelligence in the public sector will do more harm than good. Be it resolved that the use of artificial intelligence in the public sector will do more harm than good. Be it resolved. I'm eager to see how that one goes, especially in the time of ChatGTP and all of the other applications. As we move on to the next match, this team held their chest earlier. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade will propose as the Water Resources Authority will oppose. They will battle on the motion. Be it resolved that trade unions are critical to Jamaica's social and economic development. Be it resolved, and I'm looking at Mr. Grant, that trade unions are critical to Jamaica's social and economic development. Now I know Mr. Grant has his views. So let's see how that competition will go. As for our next match, ladies and gentlemen, the Ministry of National Security, and then I'll make sure them remind me, they were second place last year, which means that they're vying eagerly for the title. It's everybody's game at this point, though. So as they will propose, the team from the Clarendon Parish Library will oppose the motion. Be it resolved that senior civil servants, such as permanent secretaries, should be political appointees. Be it resolved that senior civil servants, such as permanent secretaries, should be political appointees. Let's see how that one goes. Let's see how the research and the points and the reason will prevail in that discussion. As for the next match, we have the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation. They will propose And this is the last match. So they will propose as the Administrator General's Department will oppose the moot. Now I have 2 motions left, so I'm going to shake it up and lock my eye and say which one I pull out. Be it resolved that artists who produce violent or discriminatory lyrics should not be allowed to perform or have their music played at events hosted by public sector entities. Somebody said, wow. Be it resolved that artists who produce violent or discriminatory lyrics should not be allowed to perform or have their music played at events hosted by public sector entities. Be it resolved. Now, ladies and gentlemen, how you feeling? You hear all these motions? No, man, you can go and clap, you know. You can clap. Some of you are not so excited about the motions. I don't know why, because guess what? You are going to be getting training from Jade as to how to navigate the process of researching the motions. How do you approach the various houses? Because you have, of course, your government or your proposition, your opposition, who will be opposing the moot. Of course, you have your whip. How do you rebut? How do you engage in points of information? Don't worry. All of that, you'll get some training as to how to approach that. Even though I know many of you are seasoned debaters as well, you don't know anything already. Someone did in a speak up, speak out from the primary level. And I remember speak up, speak out. Anybody remembers that competition? I remember that competition. Many of you were in the Burger King National Schools debate. Of course, and some of you repped your various schools, so I know you have your experience. Now, of course, we will share with you all that we just went through. So if you weren't taking notes quick enough, although I know all of you, because I know, I know you were making notes of the motions and how you're going to approach. I see some people already doing their research and writing down, I'm going to attack it from this level. So I know you're all ready and gearing up for this competition. But guess what? I have a surprise for you. I know as your various HR departments and your team captains were going around and said, come on, let us enter. Some of you dragged your feet and said, boy, I don't know if I want to do this because, boy, I'm nervous. I'm really in this public speaking thing and I can't bother. So guess what? We actually have a prize for the team that was able to register first. The early bird team gets a prize. So when they said the early bird gets the worm, we actually have a prize, which means next time when we have the competition, you will hurry up and get your team entries in. You'll register even at the end of this competition, right? So at this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, I'll invite our Maria Thompson-Walters from the TIU, our Executive Director, to make her way on stage. So ladies and gentlemen, which team was the early bird team? Which team? Somebody said custom, somebody said, I say, well, I didn't see Ministry of Finance put up them hands, so I guess them know what was, them know say them never registered early at all. I see TPD, I see Victoria Jubilee raising their hand, but I don't know. I guess Customs has an eye on my paper because, ladies and gentlemen, the team that managed to register early was, in fact, the Jamaica Customs Agency. So we invite the team captain. We invite the team captain to come forward and collect this bag of goodies. I said the team captain, but them unruly, so all of them coming up, not a problem. They were the first entity to register for this year's competition. And of course, we thank you for being early, and of course, you're going to share up all the goodies. I hear somebody say, let's just give it to Princess. I guess that's one of your team members. They're coaches and management. So you see them have coaches and management. All I want to have coaches and management. I see one team looking say, and they have support staff. So it's a whole competition. Just like our champs happening, and the teams have their team managers, they have a full slate of persons supporting. Thank you so much, Team Jamaica Customs. Custom saying they need a budget, and they're looking to me to say I should look to the Minister of Finance. They need a budget for the support staff. But ladies and gentlemen, I hope you are as excited as I am, because I absolutely cannot wait to see the banters, the points of information, and most importantly, the kind of research that's going to go into some of the motions. Some of them are a little bit more challenging than others, but the same approach will be taken across the board. And the team from JADE is excited to help to walk you through the competition, walk you through the preparation, so you can be ready to rep your respective teams. So as I said earlier, the match details will be emailed to the team captains by this afternoon. And of course, as you have taken all your photographs, remember, we need you to take your pictures and share using the hashtag. Remember the hashtag? What's the hashtag? Somebody deserves a prize down there, because it's, of course, the PS Debate 2020, the PS Debate JA 2023. So post on your various social media platforms, share the photos, share the links, and of course you want to tag us online. Remember as well that we have the fan favorite competition that will be taking place on social media. So when the photos are posted, you want to remember to share so you can have those votes coming in. And of course, those votes will be accepted on our Instagram page. That's the Transformation Implementation Unit's Instagram page, which is TIU_Jamaica. And of course, on Facebook at TIU Jamaica. So now make sure to write that down too. And of course, we have that on our various programs and implements here. So at this time, ladies and gentlemen, I know you've been here with us. We're happy to have had you sharing in this launch, and we look forward to the competition. Refreshments will be served at the back of the room. Those of you online, unfortunately, you can't get none of our refreshment. So next time you're going to join us in person. Thank you so much to all the teams that made this event possible, and we look forward to the engagement. My name is Javon Keys, and the pleasure has been mine being your master of ceremonies. And we ask all teams to stay behind. We're going to take your group photos. We want to ensure that you look nice when we post your picture. It looks nice on social media and you can share. So please stick around, teams, as we take those individual photos. Thank you so much for staying with us. And of course, we look forward to this year's event. So the first match will be on the 24th of April. So the first match will take place on the 24th of April, but of course all that information will be emailed and you will have all the critical details that you need to ensure that you are equipped and ready. So ladies and gentlemen, we invite you to join us at the back for refreshments, and of course take care and be safe.